Today was the day we wanted to get the windshield for the MT09 installed. That was the primary job today. But one by one, things changed in our lifestyle, and all for the good. And we had originally started out thinking it was going to be a shop day. And then Morgan showed up. We haven't seen Mark for a long time, so we got together. We had lunch. We had bagels. Karen joined us at the bagel place. We had a really nice afternoon, and good to see that Mark is back, and he's gotten through COVID. His family has gotten through COVID, among other things, and everybody's happy. So after the visit, and we were hoping Turbo Steve would have time to join us, but he had other things to do, and then we found out he went riding without us. Good choice, Steve. I'm jealous. But anyway, I wanted to, another thing to it, was the windshield will only be 10-15 minutes to get it installed. I've already got the brackets as fine-tuned as I can make them. There was a good chance that in the next couple of days we're going to have some riding weather. So I wanted to do this, what I call the spring cleaning. I wanted to polish up the exhaust, get out the buffing wheel and buff up some of the parts that really take a beating from when I was riding this bike on the salty roads underneath the back. The back part of the muffler on this side of the bike really takes a beating from the salt. And if you don't clean it, you just go riding in the spring. Well, I don't know, because I don't do that. But I know the gods do see everywhere. So today should be a really nice day to share. Morgan called. He's going to come over here this morning. Turbo Steve may or may not stop by. He's out running errands. And we got the windshield to install on the MT09. The weather is going to be perfect for a photo shoot. Absolutely perfect. A lot of stuff going on all at once. And every day that's not a Groundhog Day is better than a day that is. That's for sure. Now, it won't be a big deal to get the windshield put on, I hope. It should be 5-10 minutes. But anytime, see, this is always the way I always figure it. Anytime I have a chance to hang out with friends or do family stuff or whatever, then the motorcycle stuff always fills in the time that's left over. Now today, I'm so happy the way that we're actually pretty much ahead of the game, especially with the wheels. And I was thinking if I had an earlier start today, what I would do is put the windshield on and go for to take some photos up by that Orthodox church for a background. But you know what? It's not going to work out today because Karen has some things for me to do. And I do want to see Mark. We haven't seen Mark in a long time. He's the star of about 100 windy videos. I painted 8 or 10 bikes for him. I don't even know, man. And the biggest thing is he loves two-strokes. Other than Luciano, he's the last of my two-stroke friends. And I am real excited to see how that windshield's going to look. It's one of the, well, we got a couple more things to do, but every time I change something on the bike and I add something blue or something different, I like it better than the day I bought it. It was not my first choice appearance-wise, but I really love the performance. And I'm going to have both this summer, I hope. And just look at what kind of a day this is playing out to be. Blue skies. May even be a riding day today. Maybe we'll just let that go. I don't know. It's up in the 40s already. I always know when it's time for summer because Karen gets out the Burpee seed catalog and she starts looking at seed catalogs. And today she's looking at seed catalogs. The ice is all gone on the pond. It just couldn't be nicer right now. But again, friends always come first. What'd they do? Kick you out of witness protection? Or maybe you're back in it.
It seems like it.
Good to see you, baby. How's your wife? Good?
She's doing well. I just dropped her off at the train. She's going into the city for the first time for an event.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Welcome back. This is where it's all at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Building hospitals on top of bagel stores. How bad is that?
Yeah.
That makes you want to be one of my friends. This is your dog? Or the one you were babysitting?
That's the one we were babysitting.
Oh my God.
It's a mixture.
So
they're having dachshund races. Is there such a thing like Volkswagen races?
So here they are.
So we had a really nice visit with Mark Morgan. Haven't seen him in a while. He's doing great. And what we're going to do, we're going to get outside and get this windshield installed. Get to see this guy in a bright sun. Oh, I love that color. That color in the silver really floats my boat. Now, the bottom line is every time I've taken a part of the bike that was flat black and painted it, and I've done this one step at a time, I like the way the bike looks better. Just me. I'm not crazy about flat black. Everybody knows that. But It wouldn't matter if the bike was red or if it was shiny black. I just like shiny things better than flat things. And a good example is taking a flat black hugger that was plastic, replacing it with carbon fiber, and thank you, Vlad. Every little detail. I had somebody, I don't remember who it was. Oh, it's Scott, that wanted to put a tail tidy, the Graves tail tidy on. And when I made that video, I realized the one that was already out on YouTube, and it was a good video, but it left out the one step that I was interested in, the part you have to cut to make that work. Again, I've been real careful about, John Pothier has helped me with all of these things that have gone on to making this bike a little bit custom, a little bit my own. And one more project that's coming up in the near future, I want to make those little side panels. But every one of these little blue pieces, to me, when I do a photo shoot and look at my computer, part of it is I love the color blue that this is. I have two bikes this color, very similar color. And this trim that's unique to the 09, MT09, I've tried to mimic that on a windshield, and we should be able to get a photo shoot today. Now, a couple of things about the project. It took me a year before I had really settled in on which one of the windshields I liked, and I really did look at them all. And what happened was I settled on the one that was $26, and I knew somewhere down the road I'd want to modify it. Well, as I'm bolting this up now, and I realize I put a lot more time into making the brackets. This windshield lays back more than a stock one. I made carbon fiber brackets, and it looks like, and I don't know for sure yet, yeah, I'm going to have to do a, well, I don't know. This is one thing I'm not sure. No, I don't have to. The carbon fiber is okay. I thought there was going to be an interference here. There isn't. So maybe that, if I have to, I can just take it off and grind it or sand it or whatever. But having this, I took a lot of time making this bracket. I put it all on video. It's all carbon fiber now. It's all nicely polished. And this whole front of the bike, I've got hundreds of hours into what just amounts to be one part of this bike. And again, the carbon fiber fender, the paint. I'm not so sure the next step on this is I want to paint a similar, the unique trim that the MT09 has. Maybe a little white stripe on there, silver stripe. Not sure yet. That's why I like evolving this one step at a time, getting feedback from Karen, feedback from my friends. And now with the YouTube, I'm trying to answer more of the questions and answers. We're going to try to follow up on that very soon. I've got a list downstairs of about 10 questions to answer already. So it seems like maybe this is going to be pretty interesting. And I'm not over tightening the windshield. I don't want to run any risk that this thing is going to be vulnerable or, oh, it's nice and tight. So that, believe me, is a lot of work. Just the front end of this bike, to get it tidied up like this, a lot of work. So the next step on this, I want to take it outside. I want to shoot an extensive photo shoot, because the last part that I want to lay out is this. I want to make a part similar to that part that I made from scratch. Make it painted blue or leave it carbon fiber. I don't know. There's a lot of restrictions. One is that the seat, this piece sticks out, and this is this little guard, the nylon guard. Without that, the bike wouldn't feel as narrow. So if I put a piece in there, I don't know. It's going to have to be inside. I have made a pattern. Not sure if I'm going to like it until I actually make it. I wasn't sure I was going to make this little cover and the cover for the bolts. I thought that just cleaned that area of the bike up so nicely. And the windshield, I think that's one of the pieces that just, if that isn't right, the rest of the bike isn't right. Now this is one of the things I have to make a decision on here before I even go outside. This carbon fiber piece sticks out here. So I have to see if I want to modify that in the future. That'll be another job. They both come out there. Or if I want to do something else there. There's a possibility I'll want to make that change. I don't know. But it's a beautiful day for a photo shoot. And we're going to take some pictures now for the computer. And also, once the bike is finished, I want to take some high-def pictures so we can get a picture. I want to have a dedicated t-shirt for this bike. I have them for, I think, most of the restorations. I want to add this one to it. But we're coming up on the end of this project, and I have enjoyed every minute of this. And the mantra is, the bottom line is, every part I've added to this bike that is not flat black anymore, it's painted, Whether blue or silver, I like it better. But it's just me, and it's subjective. Let's go shoot pictures. So the way this played out, it was an absolutely beautiful day for a photo shoot. I couldn't ask for a nicer day. And the only problem that I had to deal with is because we live in the TCA, jets flying over the house, and I don't know why, but all of a sudden it seems like there's more and more jets. And I always have to edit the sound out of those videos. When they go over the house, it's like living near the subway train, I guess. But anyway, that's beside the point. So doing a voiceover is not a big deal on this. I did want to get the bike, and the objective is very simple. A lot of people would not really understand this and why I do this on a regular basis. Every time I change something on a bike, I want the ability to go down to my computer and look at it from various angles, various sunlight, how it looks in the shadow, how it looks in the sunlight. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take 40, 50 pictures, and from some angles, I like the way it looks. Then other angles, I don't like the way it looks. Now those little winglets that I put on, I didn't know if I'd like them. When I took the bike out into the driveway, moved it around, and looked at it from high, from low, from left, from right, it did a really nice job of covering up the little flaw that was in the first windshield that made it look like it didn't belong there. Just a small detail, but boy, when it's right, it really is right. Now another thing that, as you move the bike around and look at, we got sun, I have shade, one of the things I looked at, see, I like the way this goes around the headlights a lot better, and it's the right distance up high. There's a big enough gap, it matches the bottom. Before it was too tight on top. I love the silver wheels, no matter what angle I look at it. If I'm up in a tree or laying on the ground like a worm, I love the way the silver wheels came out. That was one of the really good choices. And having that experimental paint it dries rock hard. It dries like glass. So I don't know as time goes by if that's going to be the way I do the next set of wheels. I don't know, but it was an experiment I did, and it seemed to have worked great. Now I've got a set of silver wheels on the R1. That's done with traditional paint. I like the fact it matches the handlebars as a side benefit. I'm glad I painted the back of the windshield blue. Otherwise it was black, and God forbid, flat black. I don't think I'd like it. I spent some time later on in this day polishing the exhaust because we had ridden this bike all through the whole season when they salt the roads indiscriminately, and it really needed a little freshening up. But a photo shoot that's done right serves a lot of purposes. And one of the purposes, as I said, like I'm looking at those little winglets, and they make the headlight look way more like that windshield belongs on the bike than without those little winglets. It's a small detail. The trim, if you look, it matches perfectly. I was so happy. I didn't know if it was going to match perfectly or if I'd like it when it was all together, because you can't really envision it until you see it all together in one piece. But it did exactly what I wanted to do. It tied the whole front of the bike together. Now, it's the screens in the scoops that I'm looking for some silver screening that I can replace and just see if I like it before I make a commitment to it. The chain guard was a winner. That just added a lot of blue to the bike in a spot it was kind of barren. The exhaust, like I said, it needed to be polished up, and by having it out in the bright sunlight, I can see it from all that riding, and we've got over 10,000 miles on the bike. And I always like to think, from every once in a while, it's like spring cleaning on a house or freshening up the beds in a garden. The maintenance on a motorcycle, on any motorcycle, if you do the maintenance and you keep it up and you don't let it go downhill, it's fun doing the maintenance. It's when you let it go downhill and a bike turns into a trash bucket, and you look at, the bolts are rusty and this, then you get sick and tired. You don't even want to wash it. You don't even want to clean it, polish it. You don't want to do anything. Now I'm entering the real riding season here with brand new tires, brand new Michelin 5s. I wanted to get, when we start riding this on a regular basis and springtime gets here, probably at least a month, maybe a month and a half. What I wanted to have is that the bike is ready for the whole summer of riding. I don't want to get to be in the middle of August and it needs a tire change or it needs some other maintenance. So I anticipate over the summer putting 10,000 more miles on a bike. And I put 10,000 on the first year and a little bit. Well, why wouldn't I put 10,000 more? I love this bike. And I get sick of telling people how much I like it, but it's only because I like it. I don't think it's the bike that's right for everybody. You know, it's certainly not, it's not a Goldwing, but it's very comfortable. It's not an R1, but it's plenty fast. And it's plenty, if you like a stunt bike, this is the bike. Shut the traction control off. You'll know right away what I'm talking about. I like the fact that it has traction control and it's safe. The combination of the Michelin 5s that don't step out radically on salty roads or wet roads, the combination of the traction control and these sticky tires makes for a very safe ride. Not to mention the ABS. And I always want to thank Jose for convincing me, because in the very beginning I was skeptical. I had never had a bike with ABS, and the ABS saved my bacon a couple of times. And one of the times there was a deer in the road. And when I hit the brakes, I could feel that ABS kick in. I said, oh, thank you, Jose. But anyway, there's other things about the bike that I really like. But the one thing I really didn't like, and I knew it was going to be, I didn't care when I bought the bike because I knew I'm going to customize it. So what do I care if the bike was painted some other color? But I did want to have it start out at least that I could ride the bike a whole summer without it being pink or flat black or something. Because some of the paint jobs that come on the R1, I'm not really attracted to them. Younger people love them. But you know what? The problem is I'm not one of the younger people. And that's a constant problem. Now, for me, I've restored enough motorcycles to know when you take a winter out of your life, and I've done this probably, 9 times already, that I've taken a whole winter and tried to make a bike my own, did the paint job or did the 900-hour restoration. When I'm done with that, to have a bike in the garage that I really have a relationship with, those wheels, if you only knew how that changed the look of a bike. Wow. Go look at the thing with the blue wheels. And I put the cleanup of the bike with the blue wheels on the beginning of this because I wanted to look on the same video and see with the blue wheels and with the silver wheels. And if you put them side by side, like a before and after, it jumps right out at you that that's what's wrong with the bike. Now, I don't know why Yamaha, they have their stylists and they have their people, and they're probably gearing a bike toward younger people that like the more radical paint jobs and colors and different things. But this bike, I think now, to me, is one of the most attractive bikes that I've ever seen. And I really like the way it came out. I am really thrilled with it. So I know my friends, and especially Turbo Steve, they're going to get sick of hearing me say that. But you know what? Humor me a little bit. I put a lot of love into this bike, a lot of time, a lot of energy, and I shared every step of the way. And the purpose of sharing it every step of the way, there's probably some other people. This is a very popular bike. But this is one of the bikes that we go to Motorcycle Mall, they never have it in stock. I don't know, and I've heard other parts of the country they don't have it in stock either. So there's a lot of them, and I've gotten really way more than the average amount of hits on anything with the MT09 in the title seems to draw a good audience. So I know there's a lot of people that like the bike and share the adventure of the MT09. And the other channels, there's a lot of other channels with MT09s. So I got to think a lot of people like this bike. Now, I happen to think I've been able to make this bike so far a very unique bike. When I go somewhere, there's not going to be an exact copy of this, I don't think. But for somebody that really wanted to make a copy of it, every step of it is on the video. There's not one single step that I've not put on the video. And that's one of the things I try to do with my channel, even if the videos get long or even if they get boring, is not leave out that one step that you watch the whole video to see. Now, after the photo shoot was over and I realized, see, there's a lot of grime on the back of the muffler there. That's from the chain, the extra chain wax that flies up there. And they're just, in general, from riding in the salt, there's generally the bottom of the bike more than anything else needs to get cleaned up. And I think we're done salting the roads, I hope. But if I take out the electric drill, I have several buffing pads of different different shapes and sizes that get into all these nooks and crannies. And I did have a video of polishing this exhaust when I first got the bike. I think it was one of the first things I did, because I really, the stock exhaust really was, shame on Yamaha. They could, my God, just run a buffing wheel over it for in 2 minutes. You can make it twice as good as it really is. But the nice thing is you can do the whole thing. It's a little awkward if you're willing to lay on your back, or if, like Jose has a lift, you want to put it up on a lift. It's still doable. You need a lot of that Meguiar's or the Mother's, the stuff that's made for steel and aluminum. The mag polish is good. And actually, any of the polish is good. Even the 8065, which is kind of pricey stuff, but it's still good. Any kind of polishing on this. And all the little pads and buffers and everything, if you get an assortment of them, you can get them all from Harbor Freight. And they all work good. There's no part of it that doesn't work. Now, if you get super fussy, and I do every once in a while, I get out the Dremel tool, and I get in all the nooks and crannies underneath here and with the polishing wheel. And I know most people don't do that because you don't see that when you walk by the bike standing up. The only problem is when I'm laying on my back like this, like a lizard, I see it. And I want it to be clean, you know, in case I drive over a mirror, or in case a worm looks at my bike from underneath or something. Anyway, that's why people think I'm crazy. But I do like a clean bike. And I don't get mad when I have to pay the price or spend some time on laying on a cold concrete or something, because I know in the end the satisfaction of pulling that bike out of the garage on a beautiful sunny day and heading out on the open road just couldn't be better. Listen to those jets going over the house. Can you believe that? I had to get at least one jet on this movie. Those jets make me crazy. And these are supposed to be, what they've done with Teterboro Airport, they've started to allow bigger and bigger jets to land there. They've extended the runway. And it's annoying, but, you know, at least we have, you know, if you like airplanes, and I do, it's not the worst, and it's not the worst thing in the world. But when you're trying to shoot video, it can get real annoying. Now, it's been a really good day, productive day. We got the bike all cleaned up, got the windshield installed, got to see Mark. Steve decided to go riding today. Good choice. It actually turned out to be a good day, but we have more family stuff here with the bed and breakfast, but I did get the bike cleaned up, and of course, we are ready for the open road now, and I just can't wait for a day when we have a day like today and I have the full day. Now, as I'm closing in on having this restoration, I don't even know if this is a restoration. That's making a bike unique, making it your own, making it that it's a little different than every other one, and you're not going to see your evil twin brother on the road. Anyway, and we're starting to have an accumulation of parts that we can evil twin this bike out very conveniently, and by the end of this winter, I hope I'll have a whole slew of parts. If I have any time left over, I have a couple other little things I can make duplicates of, so that we have that ability to evil twin them. Now, my collection is one bike every 10 years, so I got another 8 years before I can buy another bike. But I do enjoy editing the video, and we post something up every day. And thanks so much for watching.